Hi crypto fans, welcome to CCS Cryptocurrency State. My name is Santiago, I'm a web developer and investor, and in today's video we are going to do a Bitcoin analysis. Are we still bullish or bearish? And we are going to check everything, the charts, some other information, and I will give you a progressive analysis from a clean and simple chart into some more complex stuff. Before we begin, please like the video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get the notifications, and without anything else, let's go into it. Hey guys, let's start with a simple Bitcoin chart. My last review was last week. We have this big dump that we have in the price, but let's start with a simple chart. This chart is the weekly chart for Bitcoin against USDT, against US dollar. I have only four trends here, lines of support and resistance, four yellow trends. The violet here is the one that held the all-time high that we have. This bottom line is for the 19,000 from the last top of the bull market. So for me, and probably you can agree, these lines are very important of support and resistance. Was resistance here, support, and support here, creating a base. Also, this was also the bottom of this downtrend. Here we have some close of the candles also holding a lot of support and resistance and these wicks, which make it very important. Then we have this line of support and resistance, and basically this one on the tops here with all these weekly candle closes and this as support. So with these only four lines, we can already see that actually Bitcoin is an uptrend from July. The dump that we have here, the close was above this line of support, so it was above 48. And from there, we are held in support right now. This close of the weekly, even if we went down here until 42, the close is where it matters really. So we created a new lower high here in this chart. So if you just do a cut of this uptrend, this is an uptrend for sure. We have a bottom here, which is the base of any of these bottoms, a higher high, a higher low from this one, a higher high, actually creating a new all-time high of all the Bitcoin history. And now, right now, at this particular moment on this week, this is a higher low. So we have three higher lows, two higher highs. Technically speaking, we should create a new all-time high. This is what we can see in this chart with this line of support. These numbers are not exactly, it's just to have a reference where my lines are. You need to always be sure that don't interpret a line as a complete reference. You should always take like the zone of the line, because even if this week didn't touch the line, also corresponds to this support. So in this simple chart you can see there is nothing to worry. Even if we went down here a lot of percentage, you need to understand the buy pressure that went almost this percentage up again. This was almost 28, but we closed it with 15 on this week. So I understand that many people panic here and panic sell, but this is not actually a reason to panic sell. Let's move to the only reason that I was worried on this chart, and I just added the triple moving average, the 20, 50 and 100, and I will change this one for the 21. You know, if you see my analysis, that I always mention the 21 weekly average. And this is important not only in crypto but in any market. Usually in a bull run, at least for Bitcoin, it was always support. And we see clearly that in the last bull run 2017. And when we are below that, usually it's a bear market or a bear trend with some continuation. You can see here the bear market, this little bear market, the COVID dump and everything. So from the last bull run, that has been a rule. And when we broke here from this high, we had some months of a downtrend here. So the only concern that I had from last week is that we break the 21 weekly moving average to the downside and we close it below. So why this is important? There's no history that after a breakout like this, if we enter a second time, we then continue to new highs. That never happened. in the history of Bitcoin in this scenario of the bull run. So for me, this is a major pay attention rule. It's not something that I'm selling my positions, but I'm really cautious right now. Also, you can see that in the last dump, we held the 50 moving average as support, also the weekly. And the weekly is also a reason to be cautious, because when we are below that, we are in a bear market with more reasons than the 21. And when we are above, then we held it as support at some areas like here, and then we have a new rally. So right now we are at a crucial situation. For me, we need to recover the 21 weekly moving average as support. That will give me more confidence. We need this week close above that, and then held it as support, of course, but we need to recover this week the 21 weekly. If we held a resistance from the 21 and we close below, the 50, then for me it's a major warning, and I will see more downtrend directly to $40,000, and even we can go to 28 here and get this $30,000 again. That will coincide with some support of the 100 moving average that is here at almost 30. So this is the ball picture right now. We are very close between the 50 and the 21, so this week is really important. What happened here, I think it will decide the couple of weeks and months. So I don't see, maybe there's time for next week to keep it really close to this, but we need to close above the 21 or below the 50, and this is the major concern that I have. If we close below the 50, then I probably will sell some part of my holding portfolio, because that is a very big bad news for the crypto bull run that we have been experiencing. And if we close above the 21, then I think we could resume some more levels, because we continue with this uptrend. So everything that is happening here between these two moving average in the weekly time frame are super important. Now in the daily time frame, this is Bitcoin daily candles, the 50, the 100 and 200 moving average. Also the 200 is super important on Bitcoin charts and in many charts. Usually we are above in a bull run and we are below in a bear market. You can also see that in the history of Bitcoin. So right now we are above the 200. We pass it with a week, but we close it above. So actually right now we are in best shape than this downtrend that we experienced after May. So we need to have support above the 200 to confirm the trend, and this is very similar of what we have with the 21 and the 50 weekly moving average. So this is similar correlation, so we need to wait and see these levels very carefully. Before we continue with the video, remember that I am doing an amazing giveaway. I will be giving half of a Bitcoin to one winner and 5 Ethereum to 5 different winners. If you want to participate, it's super easy, just a couple of clicks. Follow the link in the description. But remember that you need to be subscribed to the channel with the bell on to be considered. The Gaussian channel in daily candles, we are below the trend here, the channel. And if we pay attention to the color, if we enter into the red zone, that means that probably we are going to have many more days in this downtrend. So pay attention to the Gaussian channel here on the daily candles. We are below that, so that is bad news. We always need to hold it as support like we have here in this uptrend. That means a continuation pattern of the bull pattern. But if this turns red, then we probably will have, according to this indicator, many more days below that and in a red zone. Checking another major indicators, the RSI, the stochastic RSI, MACD, money flow index, all them has been to reach some kind of bottom here. For example, in the RSI we reach 30, which corresponds also with this bottom and this bottom here. So, and actually with this bottom here also 30, around 30 in the RSI. So maybe this has been a bottom for the RSI, and now we can build some consolidation or maybe continuation to the uptrend. The stochastic RSI already crossed, but we need to wait and be with the cross above 20. The MACD, this is a lagging indicator, but since that now the histographic is turning light red, so we maybe could be seeing the end of this downtrend. And the money flow index, very similar to the RSI, already recovering from this downtrend. So according to these 4 indicators, we could be seeing that this is already a bottom. So maybe some consolidation in this area, it would be great. If we keep above the $50,000, it will be amazing. And we maybe can recover the 52 and 53 and enter again above this line of support from July. And this already touches here that broke to the downside. If we can recover above that, it will be super bullish. Another thing to check, guys, is this chart of the US dollar index. We have some confluence in this chart regarding the Bitcoin charts. Usually when the US dollar goes down, the Bitcoin price action goes up, and the crypto market in general. We have these 2 areas marked. This corresponds all the 2017 year, and from here, November to February, actually January, this was the top peak of the bull run of 2017. So during all 2017, the dollar was going down and the Bitcoin price was going up. The same happened here, 2020. From the Corona dump, the dollar was at this position, and when the dollar started to go down with all what happened, the Bitcoin price rally, and all 2020 Bitcoin went from $34,000 to $60,000 in May. That was around this area, and you can see here from April to May, this last pump on Bitcoin happened when this dollar price goes down. And right now the dollar is going up in this uptrend, so we can expect, using these fractals and using this information, that if the dollar index continue going up, then the crypto market will continue suffering or maybe goes into capitulation. According to this chart, we can expect that if we go above this line, then we could expect a new dump and a new cycle of 1 year or more for Bitcoin and the crypto market. This is not right in stone. That could happen from here, actually, from this point. If we go down, maybe we could have a rally. That is something to expect also. We could have a big rally here from Bitcoin if the dollar goes down into these levels again. But the US dollar index chart is something to look, because it has this opposite confluence between the dollar going up and the Bitcoin going down, and vice versa. So this is something to consider and check. The Bitcoin dominance doesn't tell us anything right now here. The Bitcoin dominance has been going down, but we are not in a altcoin season either, so we could see a third here bottom after this double bottom formation. I was expecting the Bitcoin dominance to reach the 50 level or even going to the 60 level in a bull run. That didn't happen, and from this Fibonacci 236 47 we are going down right now, so we still need to recover some dominance on the Bitcoin chart, because like I said many times, we need a Bitcoin rally on the dominance before an altcoin season start. So I will be expecting some recovery here if that happens. According to this exponential moving average rebound on daily candles, well, this is obviously a bearish trend. We are below the rebound here. What happens to recover is something similar to this. The rebound started to put this bearish trend, but immediately at this point we crossed it bullish. So that point was here and already passed it, but until these lines of support and resistance starting to spread more, like we have here, this is more difficult to pass because we have multiple areas of resistance. So we need a quick recovery above the exponential moving average rebound here in order to continue the bullish trend, something that happened here. If that doesn't happen, then we could see some picture like this one when we hold resistance now from the exponential moving average ribbon, and that will be very bearish. But that was only for the daily. In the weekly we are still inside the ribbon, and that could happen like happened here before. We never actually had some candles below that. We only closed this candle, but we were up again inside the ribbon again quickly in the next candle. So I am hoping that in this week we get above this again, above $53,000. That will be amazing, and close that level. That will put us above the weekly exponential moving average ribbon, and that will give us a lot of support again of the 52. According to the parabolic SAR, we are still bearish here. We started the bearish trend here with this daily candle here until 53. That's where we played the first dot here on the bearishness, so we are still bearish. Nothing has changed here yet. TD sequential is still bearish. We printed a 6 today, so we still continue seeing some more bearishness on the market according to this. And the daily alligator continues the bearish trend, already confirmed here, but we have been bearish on this indicator since the 22 of November, so nothing has been changed here. We need a lot of bullish momentum here on the daily candles in order to move again the alligator into a bull run area. And lastly, to watch here, something very important is that the fear and greed index today was at 14, now it's at 25, but it's in extreme fear. And this is why I also think this is a reason to not be panicking, because we are in extreme fear in a chart that for me is still very bullish at some levels, right? There are bearishness indicators right now, but at some big picture level, this is still very bullish. We are not below the 50, we are a little below the 21, but maybe we can recover in this week. We need to wait that. My summary will be that right now we are between the 21 and 50 weekly moving average. We need to decide something here, and that will mark a lot of weeks or months ahead. That will be all for this video, guys. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell to get the notifications. And I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye.